What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Last Resort theme park build in Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. And this one I went ahead and just sort of kept with the program, I guess. The main goal of this episode was mainly to just finish this first island. I wanted to make sure that everything was operational. I wanted to kind of fill up the empty space and make sure that I kept with the heavy theming, and I wanted to go ahead and move right along. So the very first thing that I did was I went ahead and built this LIM Launched Coaster. I'm not sure if this is a very traditional design. It's definitely short, but I wanted to have something that would kind of fit into this corner of the park, but still be, exciting enough that people would ride it. And yeah, so obviously, like I said, not super long, not super intense or anything, but just trying to make it look nice. And I think this design looks pretty cool. It has a little top hat, and it starts with a top hat type deal, but it goes into like a curve drop and then a couple of helixes. And one thing I've been trying to do recently is make sure that I don't forget to put in some inverted elements, inversions. That's the word I was looking for. I wanted to make sure I use some inversions in this coaster. I tend to forget to put those in. I usually like to just make something that, like most of my roller coasters, I leave them out. Because a lot of times if you I tend to, when I do use inversions, I tend to use too many. So I wanted to make sure I didn't do that. Or I usually try to make sure I don't do that by just leaving them out. And it can often add too much intensity. But in this case, it actually worked out okay. It actually made it a little bit more interesting. And the reason I had that top hat sort of inversion thing was, or not inversion, that top hat at the beginning. It's not really a top hat. It's just I don't know. It's just what would be a top hat that leads into a curved drop. I wanted to do that because I wanted it to purposefully interact with the walkway, and I wanted it to be perfectly shaped so that it would go right over the walkway and onto the other side of the path, and then cross back over. And that's sort of that was the whole design initially. So I wanted to make sure it did that and all of that. So the hard part definitely was because I kind of squished the station platform into the side of this hill, and I ended up with not a lot of room to work with. So I actually had to put the station platform and the queue line into the side of the hill, and it just didn't leave a lot of room It didn't leave me a lot of room overall. So this it was definitely tough because I was starting to run out of room on the island here, where most of it's actually full, and I only have 5 rides on there, and that's just I used so much heavy theming on that sort of boardwalk area, and I used so much space with the resort on the top of the hill. So I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit of room left, and that's why this coaster is a little bit on the small side. And admittedly, this park is a lot smaller than I realized. It's there's not a lot happen. It ends up being 90 by 90 is actually a pretty small park. I'm not sure why I always end up making my parks a little bit too small, but so far so good. I think I made it look appropriate enough with the kind of space I gave myself here. One thing always am big on foliage, bushes, and small pieces of foliage are a must, because I think most people forget them, and I think that's that's a darn shame, in my opinion. I think if that's one tip for people, I think if you add bushes into your theme park, and your theme park's gonna look a lot better. I think that's one thing that just a lot of people forget. So yeah, I added some trees, added some bushes, added some foliage, and added in a couple more rides. So I wanted to mostly focus on thrill rides. This will be, I think maybe another island might be sort of the kids area. One of the smaller islands might be the kids area versus having some of the more intense rides on this main island. I just think that would be a little bit more. Truthfully, the building like a kids area or building like a small wimpy ride section is sort of like a, I don't know, it's just less interesting to me. I end up not enjoying the way it looks as much as the intense part of the park. So I definitely will have the kids area at some, like, I will definitely build a kids area, but it'll probably be a little bit, it'll probably be, in a later episode. And I definitely will enjoy doing it less than I enjoyed this one. But yeah, so I went ahead and built a launch free fall on the corner, on like this back corner side of the island, and this was sort of like the thrill ride section, because I went ahead and built a tilt-a-whirl on the side. I've actually been kind of messing around with using some of the custom rides that I have. So if you actually download, that's one of the benefits of downloading multiple scenery packs, is like I have a bunch of scenery workbenches. A lot of them come with custom rides, and one of the custom rides I have is like a custom twist scrambled eggs thing that they actually reskin to make into a tilt-a-whirl. So that you'll be seeing later. So I wanted to add in one more restaurant as part of my little, as part of this side of the island. Made sure that there was enough food stalls and drink stalls. And the way I'm doing it is I'm building restaurants in this one. I want to make these very obviously restaurants. The last one was sort of a bar and grill burger place. This one's gonna be a pizza restaurant, but admittedly, I'm probably going to go back and fix this because I wasn't super happy with the end result with it. So maybe in the next one, I'll probably go back and fix this. It's not horrible looking, but truthfully, I just would rather have it look a little bit different. I couldn't find a design I was super happy with on this one. This one I kind of struggled, but I got several episodes to figure it out and figure out what I want to do. And this did go through several iterations. I went with a lot of different types of roofs for the overhang up in the front, and then I ended up doing a canvas tent sort of deal, making sure that I kept the pizza restaurant, the Italian green, white, and yellow, or green, white, and red theme going. I wanted to make sure that it was super obvious that this isn't like an Italian pizza restaurant sort of deal. This is not, we're not having McDonald's in this theme park. This is going to be legit. We're going to have legit cuisine in this restaurant, in this place, and it's going to be severely overpriced, just like a real theme park. I would say that's not a horrible attempt at a building, but I don't know. I just think I could have done a lot better, and I'll make sure it looks better in the next episode. But the last thing I wanted to focus on was just like filling this whole space. Like I mentioned earlier, I probably just repeated myself, but I want to fill up the space on this first island, make sure it's completely done. So a lot of that is foliage, a lot of that is adding in more trees, a lot of that is landscaping, a lot of that is adding in some small rides. Because I thought about putting a small coaster right here, but I just did not think I would have the space. I maybe could have fit a junior coaster or something, or a wild mouse, but when it gets squished in like that, it never looks quite right. So I thought maybe we'll just put two thrill rides next to each other, and I think that ended up looking appropriate. I gave them sort of the same theme and gave them the same, like I built my own custom sort of entrances for them, and I think it looks okay. I'm not super mad at it. I might go back and fix them later, but I think for now that'll be appropriate. So one thing I did forget, I actually forgot to add in what I was gonna do with this, with the resort, was I was gonna have a monorail going from the top to the bottom of it, and have it go underground. But I didn't leave myself any space for the station, so I decided to just have a walkway going up to the resort, and that was pretty much it. I might make another one going the other direction. That'll go from the backside to the front of the island, but for now, the only place to access the resort is from the backside. So, oh well, I think that's fine, I guess. But that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe for more Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 content. Otherwise, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys very much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.